Hello, welcome back. Good to see you. And this is Dev Suvara. Yesterday, I did something interesting and I thought of doing a video about it. What I did was what I would call mindful coding. And I think for the longest time, the mindset that you can get into, and it's almost like a trap of coding, is it's just like code, focus, code, right. And you kind of like this kind of caffeine-driven intensity where you're just putting out code, you're doing this, doing that. So kind of like, and it almost feels like after yesterday, looking at it from a contrasting point of view, is that it almost feels like it's like mindless coding because you're kind of just rushing to get things out. You need to get things done because there's a timeline, there's a time frame you need to get it done. There's somebody waiting, there's this pressure. And yesterday, it was a public holiday, but I still decided to work anyway. And I thought, let's just try and apply some of, my meditation experience and be mindful of just what I'm coding and not think about the need to get it done, but think about the code and what it's doing. And it was an interesting experience. I would recommend it. I just got a chance to see things a little bit more clearly. And then reflecting on what I did yesterday, like now, the next day, I have a greater memory of what it was that I actually did. I have a clearer idea of what I need to do next. And I have a better understanding of the language that I was using, which was Kotlin at the time. It just feels like I actually applied some thought to it. Interestingly enough, I actually got pretty much everything done that I wanted to do also. So without focusing on the pressure of having to do something, like this kind of like drive to get something done, and more on the kind of a relaxation, a focus, a mindfulness on the code, it seems like a better tactical way to deal with problem solving, especially for software engineering, where you have to create solutions for problems using software, whether you build it in code or whether you use libraries, and taking like a step back and thinking about it, taking the time to think it through, and being just aware of what it is that you're coding instead of quickly going to like Stack Overflow or ChatGPT or Google. Really think about what it is you're trying to solve. And I caught myself a few times where I would be doing something and I would like get into this kind of copy paste rush where it's like, I just want to get this done. And I felt like sometimes when I was actually writing things out that I could have copy and pasted, I had a better idea of what it was doing, and I found ways to refactor the code and make it more efficient. Basically, in Kotlin, I was copying these structures, large data structures, and filling them out and then returning them. And it was really unoptimized, and it was done because it needed to get things finished. It needs to be working, and that was the quickest way we could do it. And I saw it, I'm like, this is really not an optimal way to do what we're trying to achieve here. And so that's why I sat down and I thought it through. And look, after about 3-4 hours in the morning of doing all that, there was like a little sense of exhaustion. So I took a step back, tried to focus on some other things that weren't necessarily code. And I kind of find that in the mornings between 9 and say 1 p.m., I get like say 80% of the work done. And then after 1 to 5, 6, like you kind of like there is a definite kind of like frazzled effect. You've used your mental energy a lot. It might be better at that point to take a step back away from the code and maybe do some reflection on maybe higher level things like architecture. Maybe look at some tasks that you may want to do in the future. Absorb bits of information that are not from that same place, so you don't kind of burn out on just writing code and building software. And so it's like having that balance. Like I know that the first part of that whole morning is going to be a lot more effective for whatever it is I want to do. Yeah. Well, guys, I think this whole mindful coding thing, I've been thinking about it for a while on and off. Meditation, mindfulness, coding, putting those kind of things together. And I had a good experience with it yesterday when I went to do it. I'm gonna give it a go again today and see how it goes. And we'll update you at the next video. All right, I'll see you soon. Thanks for listening, tuning in. Be mindful, code well. I'll see you later. Bye.